So what's good, TMG fam? It's your boy Ellen. I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute, man. And yes, what is that? Grilled chicken, barbecue ribs. Somebody got like a whole Boston butt on the grill. I smell what y'all cooking, man. Shout out to everybody who said they seen your boy a plate. You know what I mean? Y'all real true fam. I salute y'all for that. All right. But listen, man, this video here is the 15 unsettling discoveries in the United States, right here where I live. Unsettling discoveries. Nobody can explain. All right. So we about to check this out for sure. I need to know what's going on. All right. So if you're new, hit that subscribe button, join the fam. Real quick moment of silence for the haters. That's enough. Now run the likes up. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Here we go.
For years, we've been enthralled with what has been found all around the world, from mysterious relics to breathtaking structures, you name it. Across America, archaeologists have uncovered some very unusual things that could have many explanations. Some, however, just leave everyone shaking their heads in disbelief. From an alien ranch to an abandoned Igloo hotel, Vulture invasions to crawfish clones, here are 15 unsettling discoveries in the United States nobody can explain. Lizzie Borden Bnb, situated on a rocky hill that slopes downward to hug the eastern shore of Mount Hope Bay on the Fall River in Massachusetts.
I was thinking, did they mean Airbnb? But no, bed and breakfasts are still around, which that's a risky business. That's always a risky business. But anyway.
That slopes downward to hug the eastern shore of Mount Hope Bay on the Fall River in Massachusetts was once the crown jewel of the textile industry in the United States. The town thrived during the 19th century, but it achieved lasting notoriety as the setting of one of the most gruesome, unsolved double murder cases in American history. The Borden murders at an address that's now simply known as the Lizzie Borden House. Yet, till today, the local historical society promotes the Lizzie Borden Bed and Breakfast as a tourist attraction. In fact, it's operated as a bed and breakfast since 1996 under the ownership of Martha McGinn, who inherited the house. Martha's grandparents purchased the house in 1948. According to Martha, the room where Lizzie's stepmother was found dead is the most requested room of the bedrooms.
Is anybody else hearing this? This has now become a tourist attraction. What is wrong with us? People, what is wrong with us, man? Dude, what is wrong with us? Why? And did you see the line out the door? What is wrong with us? I don't know, man. It's getting to the point where I can't even defend us no more, bro. This is crazy. Crazy.
At the bed and breakfast, the house was listed for sale in 2021 and was sold. The new owner kept the property operating as a bed and breakfast. Tours of the house often make reference to the possibility of ghostly activity. Self-proclaimed mediums and paranormal scientists describe experiencing ghostly events in the house as well. Now let's get ready for today's missing topic. Keep moving, people. Nothing to look at here except the UFO being transported on a remote desert highway in broad daylight. Is this some top secret transport of alien technology happening outside of a top secret base? We weren't expecting to see this being moved on a highway during the day.
Some of y'all probably say, the government ain't that bold. Are they? I think they are. They be like, yep, they're that dumb to think, they couldn't be transporting it in plain sight. Yeah, they would.
It's like a parade. A truck with a flatbed with what appears to be a UFO resting on it and enforcement vehicles closely following behind. There can't be any mistake if this is a top secret base like Area 51, the common name of a highly classified United States Air Force facility within the Nevada Test and Training Range and a remote detachment administered by Edwards Air Force Base. It's been a global obsession for more than 50 years. It's provided a shadowy backdrop for TV shows like The X-Files and movies like the 1996 summer blockbuster Independence Day. What if it's just a reconstruction of a vehicle for a blockbuster movie or sci-fi TV show?
Could be true.
Weirder things have been known to happen for Hollywood's sake. What do you think? Use the hashtag missing topic with your comments. Hey, did you know that if you smash the like button, subscribe, and click the notification bell, you're more likely to win the lottery? So what are you waiting for? Neptune Memorial Reef. Close to 4 miles off the coast of Key Biscayne, Florida, stands a one-of-a-kind cemetery, the Neptune Memorial Reef. Inspired by ancient sunken cities, it's the world's most beautiful underwater graveyard. The man-made reef is designed as a repository for human ashes. Families select a memorial design, add their loved ones' cremated remains, and small significant mementos to the concrete, and the unique monument is placed by divers 40 feet below the waves. The monuments are all huge and quite heavy, 5-ton columns on 50-ton bases. Even the smaller sculptures of shells weigh 10 pounds. The broken columns and massive bronze lion echo the mythical Atlantis, and it attracts recreational scuba divers, marine biologists, and researchers from all over the world. The reef was designed to welcome fish and promote the growth of corals. Since 2007, the reef has attracted 56 species of fish. Long-spined sea urchins and many species of crab have moved into the reef's crevices. Sponges colonize the vertical surfaces of the reef alongside trunkfishes, filefishes, and pufferfish. 14 species of coral have moved in, followed by spiny lobsters, spotted and green moray eels, and rainbow parrotfish. In fact, the ecosystem has developed beautifully. Abandoned Igloo. If you live in Alaska or you are ever visiting the beautiful 49th state and headed to north from Anchorage and Denali or south from Fairbanks to Anchorage, chances are that you've seen this giant round igloo structure on the side of the road. Igloo City was constructed in the late 1970s by Leon Smith. He envisioned it as a hotel, though it was never completed due to a code violation. The building suffers from undersized windows which do not meet code, in addition to some other code violation issues. Because this building was too big to demolish, it's remained standing for over 4 decades. The structure is so large, in fact, that airplanes can see it from over 30,000 feet high in the air. Located at a mile marker on the east side of the George Parks Highway, this abandoned hotel is south of Denali National Park and Preserve, and it's truly a tourist destination all in itself, and one of the
I got several ideas. They could really turn that into something, fam, and have it like a real sought after tourist spot. You know what I'm saying? I see so much potential in that. It's so much you could do with that, bro. Like, you could be making money hand over fist.
Odd places in Alaska that you'll ever come across, if nothing more than to just stop and admire the creativity behind what could have been. Anyone that stops here and spends some time walking around the igloo and admiring the wild idea behind the creative construction is guaranteed to be left thinking, only in Alaska. We would love to see it one day become an actual operational hotel.
Make it a hotel / casino. Yeah, I got a gambling problem. Y'all know that.
Mannequin Family. A Colorado woman has been taking portraits around the world with her Mannequin Family, and people are loving it, but she's trying to make a point. The artist was tired of being asked why she wasn't married. Suzanne Heinz was raised in a very rigorous traditional religious family, which makes a lasting impression. It provided her first experience in the idealization of family and the glorification of the role of women as mother and homemakers. These influences
my God. I thought they were telling us, the Mannequin Family, they ride around and they pose and just stand up. I just saw somebody posing like a mannequin in New Orleans. So that's where my mind automatically, you know what I'm saying, went to. But no. Instead of her going out and finding somebody or just saying, bump it, I just want to be, she has a whole, you do what you want. It's your life. You live it how you want to. You know what I mean? You live it how you, no judgment. I'm just like, yo, that's wild. I never heard of that.
A family and the glorification of the role of women as mother and homemakers. These influences have come together in shaping the focus of her artwork, the external pressures of culture, and the internal pressures she placed on herself to fit into the expectations of that culture, built up over time until she decided to do something about it. Since then, Suzanne has traveled more than 10,000 miles to take pictures with her mannequins in locations including several famous Paris landmarks. Said on her website, the project is about spinsterhood and the American way. She started taking pictures with a mannequin husband and a daughter 14 years ago. The artist employs satire and humor in her work, and as you can see, saying using humor paired with shock allows my message to penetrate, and the work can have greater impact.
So what's she really doing in her spare time with that mannequin? Curious minds want to know. No, we don't. No, we don't. Keep it to yourself. Keep it private.
Vulture Invasion. A New York couple's vacation house in West Palm Beach, Florida has been invaded by dozens of black vultures. Even worse, they're vomiting and defecating all over the property. Vacation over. The smell is like 1,000 rotting corpses, the homeowner said in an interview. Vultures are part of the local wildlife in this state, and Casamano says that an elderly neighbor enjoys feeding them, which he suspects has encouraged the vultures to explore homes in the neighborhood for food.
That's exactly why they hovering around. They know they can get food.
Husband and wife hoped that this home would be a destination for family vacations, but the swarm of vultures has been causing trouble since they purchased the house. Vultures vomit as a defensive mechanism against predators. They feed on rotting meat, and their vomit is highly acidic and foul-smelling, which can deter predators or burn them if they get too close. The scene was described as a Hitchcock-like horror story, with screens ripped apart and the entire property covered in feces and vomit. But the birds are legally protected under a law that states a permit is needed to hunt, capture, or kill birds that are listed in this act, which...
Wow. So what do you do in this situation? You know they got it probably for a rental to make money, but who's gonna rent it out? Nobody wants to stay in an Airbnb that's covered in poop and vomit. No. Oh, bro, that sucks. I feel bad for them, man. Because now that's kind of like they stuff. How you gonna sell it? Nobody gonna buy it.
Which means that the couple will need to apply for a permit to tackle the situation. The couple says at one point they were able to count at least 100 vultures in their backyard.
I'd be so mad at that neighbor who was feeding them, bro. That's just,
Micronation in the desert. The Republic of Molossia is a micronation claiming sovereignty that started out as a 1.28 acres worth of land near Dayton, Nevada, but the micronation has not received recognition. So, is the Republic of Molossia a real country? Seems so. It has quietly been an official, independent, sovereign country inside Nevada for more than 40 years. President, His Excellency Kevin Bowe, and his wife, First Lady, declared their property a micronation all the way back in 1977. The nation was initially located in Portland, Oregon, which the owner's childhood friend ruled. But when President Kevin ascended to the throne in 1995, he declared a military dictatorship, renamed the country, and moved it to Nevada. Today, the Republic of Molossia is made up of 6.3 acres, with a reported population of about 30 humans and a few dogs across its several non-contiguous pieces of land. Molossia nationals consider themselves to be citizens of a developing nation. They don't have paved roads, a hospital, or an airport, but they have just about everything else. To enter the nation, you're required to go through customs just like anywhere else. And don't forget your passport. They'll actually stamp it.
Yo, believe it. It's real. They really doing that.
Crazy house in the woods. Beyond the farms and forests of northern New Jersey lies a fantastical outdoor art museum, peculiar and thought-provoking. These pieces of artwork can be found nowhere but Luna Park in Sandyston Township. Old bowling balls line the driveway, while wooden crutches stand to form a fence. Ceramic gravy boats serve as indoor waterfalls, and wine corks are repurposed as wall decor. Filled with mosaics influenced, the house looks like it's been plucked from some colorful dreamscape and deposited in the backwoods of a New Jersey artist designer. And the self-proclaimed King of Luna, Ricky Boscarina, has transformed the house both inside and out, with the interior of the house covered in his collections of homemade lamps, bottle caps, Buddhas, taxidermy, miniatures, stringed instruments, stained glass, and religious icons. Here, the ordinary is transformed into the extraordinary, and everyday objects are given a new life. For over 30 years, Ricky has continued to renovate the property, regularly redesigning the house and adding to the fixtures outside. The original 600-square-foot cottage has evolved into a mansion nearly 10 times its size. When not working on his house, Boscarino sells art and jewelry and throws 2 large parties a year. City of the Dead. At first glance, Coma in California seems like a pretty little suburban city with tranquil white buildings and pristine roads. However, the town does have a little too many cemeteries, crematoriums, and many other homes for the dead.
I was just saying that, bro. A lot of these cemeteries and stuff are starting to look packed. Like, it's crazy what you're seeing nowadays when they show videos of them. Like, almost to the point where they're gonna be stacking them on top of each other.
In fact, they say the dead outnumber the living. The community of Coma was formed in the 19th century as a collection of homes and small businesses along El Camino Rio and the adjacent San Francisco and San Jose Railroad line. Natural disasters resulted in many fatalities. As the town rebuilt itself, many dead bodies had to be shipped out to other parts of the region. Slowly but surely, the city was soon transformed into a quiet suburban area that was in high demand for the real estate sector, not only for the homes of the living, but also the dead. Like the rest of San Francisco, Coma has been through a lot of changes in order to get it where it is today, and it has a lot to do with all those cemeteries. Today, you can easily drive through Coma and check out the scenery. Each cemetery or crematorium has a rich history of the people buried there, who would have spanned for generations of San Francisco's early history. But its legacy as California's City of the Dead lives on. Hess Triangle. In New York City, there's a small plot of land located at 7th Avenue and Christopher Street that's got a big story behind it. It involves a headstrong landlord, the 7th annual subway extension, and the city of New York. The story begins around 1910, when nearly 300 buildings in the area were slated to be torn down to widen streets and construct a new subway line. One of the casualties of this project was the Vulture apartment building owned by David Hess. All in all, 11 blocks were to be ruthlessly cut down, destroying many curious old residences and businesses. Owner Hess put up a fight, but eventually lost his property to the city. By 1914, all that remained was the small triangle. Hess's heirs discovered that when the city seized the Voorhis, the survey had missed this small corner of the plot. The city asked the family to donate it, but they refused, and in 1922 installed this mosaic, which reads,
"Hershey, take my property. Then you ask me to donate what's left, man."
in defiant, all caps, property of
Just disrespectful.
the Hess estate, which has never been dedicated for public purpose. Hess's Triangle sits on the ground outside of a cigar shop on the corner of Christopher and 7th Avenue, just a bit larger than a generously sized pizza slice. Stardust Ranch. If you would like to live with the constant threat of alien attacks, this could be the ranch for you. The owners of an Arizona ranch are desperately trying to sell the property where they claim they've been terrorized by aliens for the last 20 years. The owners claim the aliens, which they call Greys, have been attacking them, and that the aliens pop up at random, sometimes in groups, to attack. So he was left no choice but to slay them with one of the many samurai swords he keeps around the house, but claims their bodies vanish immediately afterward, making it impossible for him to preserve them for research. They first put their home on the market years ago for $1.1 million, but after appearing on television shows about the extraterrestrial and finding stardom and internet hubs devoted to aliens, they've raised the price by almost $4 million. It eventually went up to $5 million for the 9.6-acre property. The owners are convinced there's a portal that links them to another universe on a property which the Greys travel through. Another of their theories is that a spaceship or UFO is buried beneath the property, and the owners make no secret of their experience in the real estate listing for the property, which even uses it as a selling point: the aliens of Stardust Ranch.
Oh yeah, he using everything as a selling point. Sounding like to me he want to get rich and he using this alien story possibly as a way to get it, bro. And the sad thing about it is he'll probably get the $5 million he asking for it, especially the way he's marketing it right now.
Quietest place on earth. There's a room in the United States that's so quiet it becomes unbearable, they say, even after a short time. The longest that anyone has survived in this special chamber at a lab in South Minneapolis is just 45 minutes. It's 99.99% sound absorbent and holds the Guinness World Record as the world's quietest place. So silent that the background noise measured is actually negative decibels. But the room isn't just for silence. Companies test their products in it to find out how loud they are. And NASA has sent astronauts to help them adapt to the silence of space. For others, however, the room is a deeply disorienting place. Some people have trouble orienting themselves and even standing. The creator and the team behind it actually challenge people to sit in the chamber in the dark. When it's quiet, your ears will adapt. The quieter the room, the more things you hear, your heart beating. Sometimes you can even hear your lungs, your stomach gurgling loudly. In the chamber, you become the sound, and nobody has lasted an hour. It achieves its ultra quietness.
What y'all think? Y'all can last that? I think we can make it an hour. We can make it an hour, bro. Come on, we can do that.
By virtue of a 3.3-foot thick fiberglass acoustic wedges, double walls of insulated steel, and foot-thick concrete. They say silence is golden, but not this. crayfish clones. Incredibly, just over 25 years ago, this marbled crayfish did not exist at all. Now they can be found in the wild by the millions in Europe, Asia, Africa, and North America. Attack of the Crayfish Clones. It sounds like a weird monster movie where a 10-legged mutant creature that reproduces on its own and escapes from confinement and quietly begins a global invasion. That appears to be the strange but true story of the marbled crayfish, an invasive freshwater species suspected to have been created through a reproductive accident in an aquarium around 1995. The marbled crayfish is the only decapod crustacean that reproduces asexually, with the all-female species making clones of itself from eggs, unfertilized by sperm. It's been thought to have arisen when two slow crawfish imported from Florida from the aquarium trade in Germany mated. Since its discovery in Germany, the marbled crayfish has spread, and they eat anything: rotten leaves, snails, or fish broods, small fish, small insects. This crayfish is a serious pest. It's hard to believe, but within 2 decades, clones of this voracious animal spread globally, bringing devastation to ecosystems and threatening native species.
Wow.
Witch bottle. Researchers found this bottle at a site built in 1861 in Virginia, in eastern United States. Inside the Civil War era bottle was a knot of iron nails that had corroded into a ball. The neck of the bottle had cracked, probably because of the weight of accumulated soil since the war. The broken top remained in place. At first glance, one might think a soldier had drowned the contents of the bottle, perhaps containing beer or soda, and used it to hold the square nails. But it could also be something else a little more sinister. During the 17th century, it wasn't uncommon for someone to pee in a jar, add nail clippings, hair, and pins, and bury it upside down. And it was called a witch bottle, where they intended to cast spells, often meant to attract and trap negative energy. And one of these witch bottles...
See why you don't be the first one to grab something when you discover it? you find it, and then you go get somebody else to grab it first. That way, if it is some kind of wicked witch or a spell or something kind of, the person that get it first ain't you. You know what I'm saying? It's trying to keep you safe. That's all.
Bottles was recently unearthed and identified by scientists as being the world's most complete specimen. The general time period of the bottle coincides with the Salem witch trials, which happened in the late 1600s. Hidden witch bottles dating centuries ago have been found concealed in homes. The practice originated in England and then traveled to North America. Back then, these superstitious witch bottles emphasized just how frightened people were of witchcraft.
Still are.
Santa Claus for mayor. This so-called real Mr. Claus has a white beard and is often seen in his hometown wearing red. Admittedly, his real-life Santa politician is actually in North Pole, Alaska, not the one everybody associates with Christmas, and he actually changed his name legally from Thomas Patrick O'Connor to Mr. Claus years ago. He got the idea to change his name when he was living in Lake Tahoe, Nevada, and decided to grow out his beard for fun. It grew full.
It's probably the best decision he ever made.
Soft and white, and people started telling him he should portray Santa Claus at Christmas. He did, then said he prayed about how to best use his image to benefit child advocacy. Seconds after he finished his prayer, he said a car drove by and a male voice shouted, "Santa, I love you." He started the name change process the following day. Claus has lived in the North Pole since 2013. He's previously been an emergency services chaplain, actor, and university lecturer. And now he's the new city councilor for the North Pole in Alaska. Unlike his namesake, Claus does not accept requests for presents. He says the greatest gift people can give is love. Mr. Claus says he tries to help at-risk children and improve the lives of young people. Hopefully, this Santa has time to deliver toys.
I feel like we need that now more than ever. Sadly, we do.
It's come Christmas time. The Bushman. David Johnson, also known as the world-famous Bushman, is a busker who scares passerby along the famous Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco. Active since 1980, Johnson hides motionless behind some eucalyptus branches and waits for unsuspecting people to wander by. When they approach, he shakes the bush towards the unsuspecting tourists and startles them, sometimes making noise, while in-the-know observers giggle. Crowds gather to watch him work. Crowds usually watch Johnson across the street from where he usually sits to see him entertain people. And believe it or not, in a good year, Johnson claims to earn $60,000. At one point, he employed a bodyguard to protect himself against attacks by the unamused, distract his targets, and alert him to the approach of elderly people so he could avoid scaring them. The Bushman has been scaring people on Fisherman's Wharf for as long as anyone can remember, and many consider him a true local tourist attraction. But not everyone appreciates his act. Throughout the years, the scary gimmick got Johnson in trouble with the law on more than one occasion. The famous street performer insists he chooses his targets carefully. They don't call the United States the home of the brave for nothing, and even though they were unsettling, to say the least, these videos don't diminish our love for America. How could it?
Did they just say, I'm gonna tell you why this is so crazy to me, right? They just say he makes up to $60,000 a year, and I'm not knocking him. Get your money, bro. Let me tell you what I gotta go get me a drink now. Let me tell you what I started out making in the fire service, right? I was making $29,000 a year. $29,000 a year. Life on the line, running inside a burning building, breathing toxic fumes that could have long-lasting effects or give me, be cancer cause, all that type of stuff, man. Dangerous. Dude went out and got some branches with some leaves on them, sat on something, and scared people, and was making up to $60,000 a year. I'm done, man. I'm done. Like nothing against him, by the way. No, get your money, bro. I salute him for that. That's hustling. I like that. Go get your money. But bro, how can we justify what firefighters make? I can't speak about what police officers make. I'm not sure. I know ambulance services as well. They don't make much either. That's insane to me. You know what I mean? That got me in this video. And the other thing that got me in video was that bed and breakfast, bro. People were lined out to door. That's crazy, man. Anyway, y'all, this was definitely unsettling. Y'all get at me in the comment section, man. Let me know what you think, and stick around and stay tuned. The next one I'm gone. Peace.